Hey everybody, Marvin Weisman here from the Weedkend show.
Hey, sorry guys. How's it going?
Today we are with Brenda from Chicks versus
Yeah, hello. Hi.
Stigma.
Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, thank you for coming. I was very excited that I saw you at Expo Weed.
Yeah,
That was nice. Your stand was beautiful. I
thank
love
you.
what you girls do and the message that you have for the whole world. I think it's amazing, and we're very excited that you're here. I already had you
Thank
on the radio
you.
show,
Yeah.
but now you're here with SAR, and it's a different vibe, and we get to chill out and get to know who is Brenda and what is
Awesome.
Chicks versus Stigma.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah and Marvin. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. And yeah, Chicks versus Stigma has been a trip, a really beautiful and amazing trip. As a matter of fact, I didn't smoke weed like I think maybe 6 years ago. So I was like
Wow.
very separated from this market. And I don't know. I think that in the last 3 years, I've been watching like this. How do you say, like this renacimiento, like this? Um,
Yeah, like reborn,
yeah, like the reborn of a
rebirth.
very strong girl power in cannabis industry, and
Yeah.
it's amazing to be part of it. Chicks versus Stigma is like this safe place for all women to start or to perfect to look for perfection in your cannabis education. So my idea is to bring all the education and all the information every girl needs to have in her life. So we talk about a lot of stuff like our sexuality, how cannabis can help or improve our sexuality, our maternities, our nutrition. So we love to speak how cannabis can be part of our daily lives as women. That I know that there's a lot of stuff that is very similar with women and men, but in terms of sexuality and hormone stuff and beauty stuff, it's wow. It's like cannabis can do everything for you, and it's like very specific necessities that we have that we can cover organically and beautiful with cannabis. So yeah, Chicks versus Stigma have, I think, this year we're going to be 3 years old. It's like a
Okay.
baby still.
But before you were involved with cannabis, you
No.
were you already involved in like the feminist movement? Like, did you already have Chicks versus Stigma before you got involved with cannabis, or it started
No, it
with
started
cannabis?
with cannabis.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy because as I told you, I wasn't a cannabis consumer.
Okay.
I was like very far away from drugs. I grew up with a very traditional family, and my mother was always like, "Don't do drugs
Yeah. Yeah.
because you are a girl. So if you took drugs,
Then you're a slut.
yeah, you're a
Yeah. Yeah.
slut. You're like this easy girl that anybody can play with, and maybe it's like, oh no, what is the society going to think about you, the neighbors, and the family, and all that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
you always grow up as a girl, like with a lot of, um, let's say, like ideals from society from a lot of years ago,
Oh yeah.
very old. So it's like you always have to be perfect and beautiful and smile to everybody and be
And
the,
no
oh yeah,
tattoos
I
and no
know tattoo.
piercings
Yeah,
and
I know. Imagine this when I was little. Sorry, mom. My mom always hated when I use pants. She always wanted to see me in skirts
she wanted to see
and
those beautiful
dresses and
legs.
to be like this. Oh, like a
Hi,
very
I'm a little
perfect
girl.
girl. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was always like, I don't know, different. It's like I was like very
You were Brenda.
yeah, I was a Brenda, and I love to use pants, and I always been like this, like I don't know. Everybody sees me like very nice and smiley girl, but I was like this tough girl. Yeah, it's crazy. But my mom was always telling me like, don't do drugs, don't do drugs, don't do drugs. But alcohol was always like,
Everywhere.
yeah,
Available, yeah.
my all my family uh drinks alcohol, and I grew up with a lot of alcohol, and it was like, that's okay, it's for the party. Yeah, you have
Oh
a
yeah.
really great time, and that kind of stuff. Um but then and I used to smoke cannabis maybe in parties when I was drunk, and it's like, oh yeah, you have weed, I want some, and then I go to the bathroom and throw up and have a really bad time. So I wasn't like
It's
this
like, why do
close
you
to.
guys like cannabis?
Yeah, and it was not a nice experience.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
So I didn't know anything about cannabis, and yeah, I was very ignorant about that. But then a few years ago, well, my mother always have one issue in her back that is called rotative scoliosis.
Okay.
So her back, her column rotates.
Wow.
Yeah. So of course, that now that she's older, she have a much more problems because that disease. So a couple of years ago, maybe 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't remember when. Uh, she have like a really bad moment when she lost all her movements. She lost her independence. Yeah,
Independence, yeah.
and we used every kind of OTCs, and all the pharma was in my mom's house, and mm, there's like no results. She used morphine, it says morphine,
Yeah.
See,
morphine,
morphine.
and nothing happened. So of course that me as her daughter was like, what can I do? I don't know what to do. I can take her to hundred of doctors, or it's like you use all you have and then you have nothing because there was no result. So in this search for something different for her,
Did she finally accept the cannabis?
yeah,
You can put the volume down. It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. My phone is so broken because
You
I
can't
have a
even
kid
take.
and he always
Oh,
threw it
huh.
to the floor, so I cannot
So
put
the
down the
volume is
volume.
stuck.
Yeah, it's stuck.
It's okay.
Yeah, don't, it's okay. But then I was talking with my mom, like, there's this opportunity. Everybody says that cannabis can help with pain. So let's give it a chance. And I was very afraid to talk about that with her
Yeah, of
because
course.
her mindset about
Yeah.
cannabis. But the result was like, yeah, do it. Yeah, you bring me some cannabis and let's try it. She was also
Well,
desperate.
of course.
And then in my search of cannabis, I found Fundación por Grace, Raúl Elizalde, and his wife that now works with Hemp Smith and have
Okay.
cannabidiol. They helped me to get the cannabidiol, the CBD, and give it to my mom with a recipe and the doctors and everything. And in 3 months, I saw a difference that I never imagined. It was like, you kidding me?
Really?
She's doing less pharmaceuticals. She's doing better. She is like recovering her independence. That it's the most important
Of
thing
course.
she had.
Of course.
And when I saw that, was like, what?
Yeah.
What is going on here?
I want to be a stoner.
Yeah, of course. And it was like this really
Wow.
minds. I don't know. My mind changed the perception of cannabis because I saw it. It's like nobody told you that. Maybe my neighbor or my
No,
friend do
you
it. No,
lived it.
I saw it,
Yeah,
and then it
yeah,
was like, okay, I have to do something with that because also in my older jobs with my normal job, I used to work for one of my clients was a pharmaceutical company,
Okay.
and I sell ibuprofen and paracetamol and all that kind of stuff. And it was like, oh no, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I want to start talking about this organic and fabulous medicine we have with cannabis. So yeah, that changed my mind. It blows my mind up. And I started with Chicks versus Stigma because also in my path to find the medicine for my mom, well, you cross with all that kind of stigma. So
Yeah.
I was afraid to ask anybody,
Yeah, of course.
to the doctors, to my friends, or I don't know where to get marijuana
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I always get it in parties. I never bought it by
Yeah, of course,
myself.
of
So
course.
yeah, it
No,
was
and
hard.
you wanted to get the right stuff for
Yeah.
your mom.
The clean one. Yeah.
Exactly.
You want to get clean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
reputable
exactly.
cannabis. Yeah.
Yeah, so so that's the way Chicks versus Stigma started, like a place to talk about cannabis without any kind of stigmas or fears. It's like this safe place. And when it all started, it was like I only want to give education and that's it. I haven't. I didn't have any more ideas for Chicks versus Stigma, but when it burned and when it started, well, I find out that there was a lot of girls wanted to talk about that and wanted a lot of stuff that I haven't considered in the beginning. For example, maybe we don't want like you're beautiful and amazing. I love that pipe, but maybe a girl doesn't want a skull pipe. You know,
Or
maybe a girl
Yeah.
wants a
a flower.
flower pipe
Yeah.
Yeah.
or any kind of different
Yeah.
pieces, like with design or with
More feminine.
more feminine.
More in touch, more
Yeah,
directed towards women. It's
exactly.
fantastic.
Yeah, and then I started also with the store, with my online store, where you can find a lot of artifacts for smoking, or also you can find lubes or cosmetics or creams or whatever you need with cannabis, because I saw that we have the necessity. So everything is growing up, and there's also a really big and amazing feminist movement
Oh
right
yeah.
now all around the world, and
Yeah.
that also uh oh it's
It fills you with energy.
yeah, with a lot of energy, because I don't consider right now myself like 100% feminist. I am in this kind of deconstruction um moment of my life, and it's amazing. I am like learning a lot about feminism, and it's like, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I
that's
I, I
that's
think
what we need, and I feel very like engaged
I
with
think
that.
it's a strong word, and I used it before. Be a feminist or feminism. I think it's what it's all about is equality,
Yeah,
because we're all equals.
yeah,
And for some stupid reason, the world has always had the men, with the women beneath them, and
yeah,
I don't understand it. For
yeah. Me
me, my
neither.
mom is everything, and my grandma even
Yeah,
more,
I
and my
know.
wife, wow, and all my beautiful friends in the cannabis industry. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't see the woman and the man, like I don't see color, like I don't see
Yeah,
race or
exactly,
religion, and I think that's where it should all go through.
Yeah.
We all
exactly.
have to unite, and the same with the cannabis community.
Yeah, that's
Everyone has to
right.
work together.
But what you're mentioning right now is true. So you're talking about it has to be equal,
Yeah.
yeah, equal representation. But I see what you're talking about too, because this is Mexico, and for anyone who comes from the U.S. like I do, there's a huge difference of how women are treated
Yeah,
in both countries, right? And it's just
Yeah,
we're
but
very
still,
close to the
but
U.S.
in general, I
Yeah,
mean, they're like in the States or Canada or some modern countries in Europe. I agree. They've evolved, but the majority of the world, it's not just
yeah.
Mexico,
yeah,
man.
No, but what
yeah.
I
There's
mean,
a
I
lot
think
of
my point that I was trying to make is that that's the equality, because equality to me is like you can have the same job, you can vote, you can go to the same places that men can. But what you're mentioning too is like finding I think you tell me if I'm
Mhm.
right, is that finding your femininity. Like in Mexico it was so like taboo for a woman to talk about how she felt about
definitely.
sexually or
Yeah,
emotionally,
that's right. That's
that
right.
that's also coming out with feminism. So it's not just about equality, but it's also about women finding themselves and who they want to
Exactly.
be in this new world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
and find your
but it has
places.
everything to do with equality, because men have been able to say whatever they want
yeah,
and talk about dicks and cocks and do
Yeah.
whatever they
yeah,
want.
Hmm.
Women have the same right, and we can't look at them different.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
And
right.
that's what it should be,
yeah,
because women and men, we're the same. Men, we wouldn't be born
Hmm.
without women.
yeah,
Hmm.
So I mean, I think men all over the world, especially in Mexico, you're right. They have to really start changing the way that they see society and how it
Right.
should be,
yeah,
and there is no should be.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, everyone should be whatever they want to be, sexually, religious
Hmm.
wise, whatever. And and it's great. But you're right. I mean, I understand what they're talking
yeah,
about too. I mean, it's also discovering now I have this power, and I don't have to be
Exactly.
quiet anymore, and I
yeah,
can say what I want, and I have all these women to back me up, and hell yeah, I'm with all of you. I mean,
Thanks.
I think it's very important, and I think it's sad that still in 2021
I know
this
there's a
kind of
lot of
stuff is
work to
going on.
do. Yeah,
You
but
know, like everything, like you see, it's still everybody hates black people,
mhm.
everybody hates Asian people. What's wrong with people?
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
It's
know.
like stop it already, man. No, this is the opposite of what needs to happen in the world.
yeah,
Exactly.
You know,
But I have like this thought, and it's maybe like this hippie thought, but I think that cannabis and feminism, it's are really close.
Of course.
And as cannabis always unite people and give love, peace, understanding, it's like, I don't know, I think that this moment we are living in with the pandemic and with feminism and the reborn of psychedelics and cannabis around the world is going to bring society to a better place. I think
hope
that this,
so.
yeah, I hope my son can see it. I know I maybe I won't see it, but I think that we are in the right path, and I think that these spots or these places or these safe places as Chicks versus Stigma and a lot of girl projects that are outside, they are really going to start changing the way we feel because we can be open of what we feel, what are we thinking of, and yeah, cannabis will help us also to be to be empathic, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with each other.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. Cannabis unites, and you know, it is the female plant that
Yeah,
gives us what we
it's
love.
nature, Pachamama.
So,
Yeah,
Flower,
yeah.
yeah. It's a flower.
You know, that's why I've never understood the whole thing against women, because it's like, what do you have against women? You have a mom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You were born thanks to a woman, dude.
Yeah.
You know, who carried you for 9 months or 8 or 7 or whatever. But you know,
Yeah. No,
I've
it's easy
never
to forget
understood that.
because if the whole world is machista, then you come out and then you're just machista, and like
Yeah,
you know, it was a man's world, and now
Mhm.
it's changing.
definitely, definitely.
But yeah, I do like what you say. Like, you know, I'm also, you know, also I am very like, dude, I come from like the most capitalist, like, you know, country in the world, and I have like this very, you know, because we're also raised different, right?
Mhm.
It's independency, like, you know, like you are independent, you have to get out of your mom's house at 18,
Yeah.
you have to make your own life,
Mhm.
have kids, have your own house, and then it's just this cycle, right? And it has been changing, and that word that you mentioned, which is that hippie thought, I always also go like, oh, I don't want to be too hippie, or oh, I don't want to sound like I'm hippie, but I think that also has to change. It's not a hippie thing. It's
Yeah,
just like
or
That's
hippie
how
is
I
not a bad
think.
stuff.
yeah,
It's not a bad thing.
No, that's not a bad thing, and there's nothing wrong with
yeah,
what you think. It's not a
Yeah,
hippie thought.
it's
It's not a stoner
valid.
thought.
yeah.
It's not a Jewish thought.
valid.
It's it's
But
my thought.
I've been trying to define it. It
Yeah.
just sounds like it's like a back to nature thought that I always explain.
Yeah.
It's just like we're just saying like let's just use plants to
To heal.
to heal and to
Mhm.
eat and
Back
like
to
just go
your
back to
roots,
organic. Yeah.
man.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah. And it's not a hip thing. It's just a natural thing. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, I
like
know.
this is
Yeah,
good.
we have to change the perception
Yeah.
in society. It's not a hippie thought. It's like a. Yeah, it's like
Well, let's
nature.
change the
Our
hippie
roots.
thought.
Yeah.
I have a lot of hippie friends. I'm a hippie. I just don't have hair, but if I did, it'd be really long,
are
and I'd
all-
be wearing tie dyes.
Would you
We are
smell
all
bad?
I love hippies, man. I lived in California a long time, and everyone there, most of my friends were hippies, and it was awesome. They're very beautiful, mellow people, and they've been involved with the flower way before us, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And that's really like, you know, I've been thinking about this,
and
you
it's
know,
the
and
same
also
as
maybe
here,
because
que
I've been
dicen los
smoking a lot.
pachecos. No, o sea,
Yeah.
no, que los pachecos, que it's the same, you know. The hippies,
Yeah.
they're related with the, you know, the 70s movement and the.
Yeah, and it's always like drugs.
But you know what, like that is a thing that, you know, because you were in California, and you know California is very, the world doesn't realize that when they're talking about the US, they're talking about California. Because that's what they're saying. They're talking about Hollywood, or it's California or New York,
Yeah, I know.
but it's not the US. But it's like when you're talking about that, I do feel there's gonna be like in a few years when everything's legal and everything,
Mhm.
people are gonna look back to California, how even the companies like Apple, you know, like Steve Jobs, you know, he did cannabis, and you start to see like all these companies, Elon Musk,
Mhm.
like maybe their capitalist thoughts were changed by cannabis, and they became a little better companies that started changing the way companies were gonna be in the U.S. Because it's all about capitalism, but maybe the cannabis did put a little bit like, oh yeah, let's be capitalist, let's chill it a little bit, you know. And maybe I don't know if you guys know much about Steve Jobs or like, you know, what
There's
Elon
a
Musk.
reason why all these places are in Silicon Valley. I mean, it's right next to Humboldt County, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
Come on.
course.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm
That's
telling
in
you, it's like
purpose.
it's mixing that capitalist with the, or you know, what do we say? Not call it hippie, but like the back to the roots. You know, be
Mhm.
more closer to the world. I don't know, like
Yeah,
Yeah,
the earth.
that's
and
right.
still, I mean, Northern California is still where most of the outdoor
Yeah,
California weed is grown,
yeah,
because it's always, you know, it's part of their community, you know, and I remember, you know, when I lived in LA, and everyone was always like, "Hey, man, this is from Humboldt County,"
yeah.
and then the other famous one back in the '90s was, "This is from BC." British Columbia also
Yeah.
has a lot of beautiful and delicious flower, I must say. Those were good days back in the 90s.
Yeah.
I was already smoking this stuff in the 90s, dude.
So you know what's interesting is like now that they're actually talking about New York. You know, New York is medical cannabis,
Yeah.
only medical cannabis. But now they're starting to talk about recreational cannabis. I think
Yeah.
this week
And
they're gonna
silos.
start
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
it. So like it will be interesting to see the New York hedge funds and the bankers start to get into cannabis, and then how that changes their perception of, oh, what should we do? Should we should we now make companies that are better for the world,
Yeah.
or for other people? Maybe I don't know. It's changing people, for the right
Well, it
reasons.
has to
Yes.
because,
Yeah.
it's used for so many things, like we've always said, for like clothing and books and food and medicine, and you can make it, you can make car parts, you can
Fuel.
make homes, you could, yeah, fuel, batteries. It's
Yeah.
so much, it's like, why are we still tearing down all the trees and half of the planet when we know that the planet's suffering? When we can just go
Politics.
back, yeah, but let's go back to our roots, what we were saying.
Yeah.
Every country that should be able to grow cannabis to be industrialized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the world is waiting for. I mean, we've been with this global thing, with the global warming forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we can
and
change
I don't
that.
need to watch the news. I can feel it. I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that the earth is suffering right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want the most, because we're always going to be able to find flower, and now I'm gonna have a law here where I'll be able to have 6 plants at my home. That's
Yeah.
cool, but I want the earth to get better. I want people to have better quality lives, and to save the planet, because we can with cannabis, with that part of cannabis,
Yeah.
Let's just grow hemp, and let's use it for everything that it can be used for, and then grow a little bit more, and
Yeah.
it's all in the same little area.
Yeah.
You don't have to touch the trees anymore,
And this opens a lot of things, because you were saying like using this as a plant for your mom that was looking for some pain relief. But I think I've mentioned it before in this show and in other places, like this is gonna open the research for other plants that we already know they're beneficial for us. Because I always think about like arnica, right?
Mhm.
Like that's a really big thing in Mexico, because I'm half Mexican, so I already also know a lot of Mexican stuff,
Yeah, I know.
culture. So it's like I know like arnica is a thing, but it's like why hasn't anyone like like not synthesized, but like the same as cannabis, make a concentrate,
Yeah.
so it's even more effective for
Yeah.
whatever pain you have, and instead of just having like a pomada, and
Of
maybe you can make it even stronger, and it's natural, maybe it doesn't have that
Yeah,
many side
maybe also.
effects.
And
Yeah.
what about your mom?
Yeah.
Does she still
Yeah,
use
she's still in pain. Yeah, unfortunately,
and how does she
her
use the
diseases.
cannabis?
Uh, it's hard because she also have different another diseases like blood pressure and
Okay.
diabetes. So yeah, it's difficult because uh, it's a really long story. She also have an infection in the back, so the infection moves her sugar levels and the pressure. So the dosage
Wow.
between her ratio of CBD or THC have to change all the time because
Wow.
sometimes she's good, sometimes she's not. So yeah, it's hard to have like this like this really clear path. It's yeah, but it's helping. It's helping.
And she's taking drops, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like sublingual. Okay.
this is why we need a law in Mexico. So Brenda
Yeah.
can go with a doctor's recipe and go to a dispensary
Mhm.
and get real, what she's getting.
And the same
that's
thing
what
every
yeah.
single time.
Yeah, and the same
Exactly.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
and with a
it's
perfection formula for her because she
exactly
have a very different organism.
something for her.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that I think that what we should do right now that we are already doing, it's not only changing maybe the politics or I don't know, economy in different countries with cannabis. We need to change our education
Yes.
and to give everybody the information we need, not only with cannabis, with also with arnica
Yeah.
on this kind of botanicals, all the power we have in nature. We have to use it in our favor, but we need investigation for that. So we need to change the mindset. I always said that maybe here in Mexico we are super excited because we can be this global market first potency around the world and everything, but I think that if we don't change our minds and our education, the market will be there,
Yeah, of course.
but it may take a little, how do you say, like desviación de variance, like little, I don't know, like
Una desviación,
Yeah, like a
ajá,
turn, like
like a
a
turn
wrong turn.
Yeah.
to
Of course,
pharmaceuticals.
be in the hands of
Uh-huh.
the wrong people.
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
And that's why we need the
A good
education
law.
to be able to do our autocultivo,
Yes.
to be your own grower, and you don't have to depend of any kind of industry. You have the power to use nature for you.
Yeah.
So we have to educate.
But we're getting there,
Yeah, we are getting
with
there.
spaces like the Weedkend Show and
Yeah, that's right.
Tiempo de
Of
Cannabis.
course.
I mean, now
Chicks versus Stigma.
Yeah,
I
Chicks
mean,
versus
there
Stigma.
now you can really get a lot of information everywhere.
Yeah.
And Tiempo de Cannabis having a show on national TV, that's awesome.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
any
it's
country.
amazing. And
In
also,
any country,
and also here in Mexico, I know that it's the same in a lot of countries, but in Mexico,
No, it's not.
whatever you see on national TV, you believe it. They
Oh,
can, yes.
that's what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so for the first time, we can talk about cannabis with the truth, with facts, with investigation, and the people will hear us.
Of course. It's
yeah,
awesome. It's
if
awesome.
Azteca, in this case, TV Azteca, if Azteca said it, you have to believe it.
I agree. That's why I'm so happy with that
Yeah.
program,
Mhm.
because it's really important. We always talk about it. You were talking about
Yeah.
it. The education is first.
Mhm.
We have to educate all of us and the people who don't know about all the benefits of legalizing cannabis. Education first,
Mhm.
and make sure that everyone that's going to invest and be involved in this industry does it for the right reason, because of course it's great to make a lot of money,
Uh-huh.
but there has to be a very human part behind it,
Exactly.
and we have to work with the small farmers,
Yeah.
and with everyone. We can't make groups and separate, and we really have
Mhm.
to work together, because that's something that always happens, like you were saying, you're going in a right direction, and then suddenly boom, oh,
Yeah.
detour.
Yeah.
What happened? And it's like, well, I mean, you have this group and that group, and we really have to unite.
Yeah,
so
and take
so this
care of
works.
this because it's also nature. It's
Yeah.
it have to be free.
Yeah, it's a new industry, so let's do it right.
Yeah, that's
There's so
right.
many things that we have done the wrong way as humans. Like, let's at least this is a new. They're giving us a new opportunity.
I
here.
agree.
That's
So let's
right.
do it right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Now, you were mentioning Tiempo de Cannabis, so you are also part of Tiempo de Cannabis. You are
Yes.
okay. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, I have the fortune to work with the Tiempo de Cannabis team. As you were saying, Tiempo de Cannabis is the first program in Open TV or national TV
Mhm.
in Mexico that talks about cannabis, half an hour every Saturday, 11:30 p.m. Yeah, I'm working as a content coordinator, so I'm looking for all the specific topics we need to talk about to make like this storytelling to show people what they need to know about cannabis. So we want to show all the benefits it have all with economy, with health, with lifestyle. It's like to show all the Mexicans
yeah,
everything they need to know with
cooking,
cannabis laws.
yeah,
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
music.
Yeah, of course, with Marvin Baseman.
Someone's plugging in.
Yeah, and,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
amazing. It's amazing to work with this. I think that we are making history.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think
it's-
Tiempo de Cannabis is really.
Yeah,
making
it's like
history.
my skin is, I don't know how to say it, piel chinita. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's really exciting to be part of this and to be able to give this voice or to give the message to Mexicans. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. The team is also amazing.
Sarah
Snap.
She
yeah,
rocks, man.
wow. I love her. I love her
Yeah,
so,
she's
so
awesome.
much. And Leah, Alice in Kitchen. Yeah, the team is
Jansu
amazing.
Wompek.
Jansu Wompek, of course, Julio Senil.
Julius.
Yes.
Oh, what a great team, seriously.
It's great. It's very good adventure, and it's also very interesting to understand what is like the reaction with the people if they are looking more information for health instead of adult use. I don't know.
Of course.
You receive a lot of insights of what Mexicans want to hear about cannabis. So it's amazing. And I think that with these kind of insights, also other companies and brands that are starting their business, yeah, you can have like this information. What you need, I can help you.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of data and insights, very interesting. And yeah, I think that this will be like the first national content that will like open the doors
For
and
more.
for more, and also to give like this example for the media that, hey man, you can't talk about cannabis in national TV and nothing's going to happen. It's not about stuff. So
Exactly.
because as you know, we are very restricted also in the US, all around the world, about cannabis. You cannot use social media as you want. You cannot have paid campaigns as you want.
Yeah.
So I think that like these kind of programs or moments will help to open doors with other kind of media or
Yeah.
content creators.
I have a question. What do you think it's gonna be like? You know, like we were talking before, there's a lot of shows in Netflix from California that are cannabis based, or they have like a cannabis story. I mean, there has to be somebody here in Mexico thinking about, okay, what's the show in Mexico gonna be about cannabis?
Yeah,
Like,
I have
yeah.
things in mind, but I need help, boys. Yeah, but definitely I think that we must do a show,
Yeah.
a
Una
series,
novela.
anything
A
regarding.
novela.
You have novellas right now that are talking about cannabis.
Oh,
I didn't see
really?
it the full series, but I know that there's one with Ana de la Reguera that is called Ana
But
in
are they talking
Amazon.
like, oh my God, I'm crazy,
She's
I'm stoned, look at me? Or
I don't
normal?
I don't know.
You
I
don't
don't know.
know?
I
Okay.
haven't seen it. Yeah, and there's another one that is Casa de las Flores that also
Oh,
there's
yeah.
one character that smokes weed. It's a woman. It's a grown woman. I don't know the perception of the drug use in the series, but
Okay.
I've heard good
Good
messages,
reviews and
good
good.
reviews. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. But there's nothing to do with maybe a documentary about the fight, the cannabis fight in Mexico,
Yeah.
or maybe how well you can see also. Now I remember there's a lot of stuff, Marvin, but not in Netflix. We have
Yeah.
to do something in Netflix. But there's also Las Sanadoras. It's a documentary that two guys do
I saw that. That's awesome.
regarding all the moms that fought for their children to have cannabis as medicine.
Yeah, to have access to
Well,
medicinal
amazing.
cannabis.
In Docs
Have you
en
seen
Linea,
that?
you can see
Was that the
Docs-
US one? What's
No,
the name?
it's
no,
Mexican
it's
Oh, it's
one.
Mexican.
Mexican.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No, I haven't seen that.
you
It's
can
very
see it
good.
in
I'll send it to you.
docsenlinea.com. It's
That's-
amazing. It's a really nice job.
Where can they see it?
And in docsenlinea.com. Yeah. And also, there's an amazing documentary that did Polita Pepper with Clara Sativa from Chile and with Beleni Punto, I think from Spain. Yes, from Spain. And they make this documentary with women around the world talking about how we use cannabis. So you can hear the story from girls from all around the world with
awesome.
different
I haven't seen that one.
personalities. You can see it YouTube. You can look for La Cana Woman channel in YouTube, and then there you will find the
Nice.
documentary.
I
It's
love
amazing.
Polita.
Oh,
She's the
well,
best,
she's
man.
the master of the masters of cannabis and feminism. Yes,
Yeah,
she's
she's
the
awesome.
big deal. Yeah, yeah, I love her also
Yeah.
and respect her. Yeah, a lot. But yeah, there's a lot of content. We have to do more,
Of
and we
course.
have to make it more accessible. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can work.
So you
together.
gotta get that script going, and then you gotta sell the script to Netflix. And
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe we'll sell it to Amazon or Hulu. We don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, we have to do it. We have to
but not
do it.
Televisa.
No, not television. No, no, thank you.
No, we want everyone to see. No, definitely. There's a lot of things that come to my mind that can be done here with all the talent and all
Yes.
the history of cannabis.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like my head is going right now. Like
yeah,
I
there's
have
a
all
lot-
these
Yeah.
ideas because
Yeah, he's been smoking. He's been smoking.
No, I haven't. Oh, yes, I have.
He's gonna
no,
for-
I haven't.
He's
yes,
gonna
I
forget in
have.
an hour. 20%.
What's my name?
Oh, that's cool.
So what about when was your first? Like you say now. Okay, now let's talk about Brenda,
Yeah, let's go to the micro.
micro Brenda.
Okay.
When was your first contact with cannabis?
My first contact with cannabis was at my 13 years old.
What?
Yeah, 13. Yeah.
Was it your bat mitzvah?
No, no, I have this friend that she came from Mazatlan, and there's a lot of drugs in Mazatlan. So it was like cannabis was a very common stuff,
It was like
you
this.
know?
You want this? Okay.
Yeah, and it was like, have you ever tried it? No, I haven't. Then I saw her using it, and I saw her. It was okay, it's fine. She's just laughing and having a good time. She woke up without any hangover or something, and oh, looks good. So then I tried it with her. It was really fun, like 2 hours laughing. I was very young, so yeah, the flight passed, and it was like, so yeah, it was funny, but I don't know. It was like just funny.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And then because I have to go with my mom again, it was like I know I didn't want to have any drugs in my house.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't want it any problem at that time. So I tried it, and then all in parties. Maybe when I was like 18, I started to use it a little bit more when I entered university, and but it was also like, yeah, social stuff.
Everywhere.
I have like these my buds, maybe 5 buds in my room, and that 5 buds last like 1 year. I don't know. It's
Where
like
did you go to university?
I went to a university. It's called Universidad Tecnológica de
See,
Mexico.
I knew it wasn't
Yeah.
UNAM because if it was UNAM, you'd be a super stoner.
Yeah, no, I wasn't that
You'd
stoner.
smoke that in a week.
Yeah, I know. But no. So yeah, I wasn't a very low profile consumer. Um then I become a mother, and everything gets difficult.
Yeah.
And it was like maybe almost the time with all my mom stuff and her health stuff. So when I saw that it helps my mother, and I started to try it for myself, I felt so much better. I used to drink a lot of alcohol, a lot of alcohol every weekend, very bad. One time I didn't, I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know, it was like I wasn't myself anymore. And when I started consuming cannabis, my alcohol consumption,
Yeah.
yeah, went really, really low.
Yeah.
And all my lifestyle changed. I started to eat better. I was able to sleep better. I used to work in a media agency, and the work in media, it's hard, hard. You have a lot of stress. Nobody respects your schedule or your yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy
Yeah.
your time. And and I I never sleep. So when I started to use cannabis, I slept like a baby. Then I become a mother. So I have like this job, stressful job. I was a new mom. I don't know what was happening in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you a
yeah.
single mom?
No,
No?
no, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He's my husband.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a husband, and my kid is 5 years old. It's a boy. And yeah, your life gets crazy when you become a mom.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, also cannabis helped me a lot. I am more patient. I can play with him like with much more empathy.
Mm.
It's not like I'm consuming with him all day. No, I think I'm very responsible with my consumption. I smoke more maybe when he's asleep, so I'm like in my couch. "Ah, yeah, finally I can rest." But yeah, I can play better with him. I became more
It balances you because
yeah,
of your endocannabinoid system.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
You know, that's exactly what happens. And even the
Exactly.
people you meet
Mhm.
are cooler.
Yeah.
You know, drunks, it's like
Yeah.
Right
Right now, I go to a party where a lot of people drinks and get drunk. It's like I don't want to be
Yeah.
here anymore. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
No, I don't feel comfortable. It's
course,
like
yeah.
I drink.
respect
I
everybody.
can have a couple
but
of drinks, but
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah,
much
I
rather
love.
the ambience and the feeling and the groove when it's cannabis.
Yes.
Everyone's mellow and like at Expo Weed, I met a lot of nice people. And
Yeah.
since I started in the
Thank you.
cannabis industry here, I keep saying it. Of course, there's a bunch of assholes too, but still, but
Like everywhere.
yeah, like everywhere. But there's a lot of really nice people, and when you hang and you smoke with them, and you're just chilling, and you're like, yeah, dude, this is what cannabis is
Yeah,
about.
we talk and we understand each other. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's been a very nice adventure to include cannabis in my life. I lost weight. It's like it's it's amazing everywhere. I see it. I have to learn how I can use it because I think my endocannabinoid system, it's like maybe it's not very fragile, but it's not maybe that kind of strong as other people that can smoke all day and be
Yeah.
productive and do a lot of stuff. I prefer to do it in specific times. I cannot work if I'm smoking. I forgot everything. And I love numbers and I love to analyze data and that kind of stuff. So if I smoke, I know that I'm be looking for something and what is the reading
Oh,
or what?
definitely. What am I?
You know?
Why am I sitting here?
Yeah, or
Yeah,
maybe I'm
definitely.
going
I
to
agree.
drive, or
I agree.
yeah, it's like to I
When you know you have to do something, and you think, should I smoke? Don't.
don't.
Because
Yes.
that little doubt is like, you know what? Just go ahead, do what you got to do, and when you're done, you
Yeah.
light up a doobie,
Yeah.
and everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
what you're mentioning is like I think
Some
there's
people can.
Yeah.
there's that peer pressure also, like, like we were talking about this before. It's not like, oh, you gotta take the biggest hit, and like, I think that's still like a thing that we have to get over.
Yeah,
Where it's
yeah.
like it's not you don't have to be like finishing the whole joint. You can just smoke a
No.
third, keep it for later.
Definitely.
I think we're still in that where it's like, no, you gotta do the most, dude. Like,
And I
take a
think that we
rip.
maybe
It's
learned.
like, that's your bong? You
Yeah.
call that a bong?
It's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I got a 6 meter one.
Come on, guys.
That it's maybe something we learned with alcohol. It's like if you drink a lot of alcohol, everybody's like, yeah, applause, yeah, drink it, yeah, in
Yeah.
one shot, and woo!
Oh yeah, yeah.
Maybe it's that we think that we must do the same thing with
No,
cannabis,
no,
but
not at all.
no, no,
And,
it's
and
like,
you're so right about that, because that's a very Mexican thing. Well, I mean, it's also in the U.S., but when I come to Mexico, when I used to come to Mexico, it was like drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking, and I was like, fuck, dude, like from 10 till 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was like, the only other people that are like that are like the Brazilians.
Mhm.
I've been to other places, and
Oh,
they love
Venezuela
that
too, man, but
Yeah.
nothing like Mexico.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, in Venezuela, they chug down it. The number one consumer of Black Label in the world, dude. I'm not joking,
Wow.
dude,
Damn,
and we're
dude.
not that many.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, dude. And there was Black Label everywhere. And from, like you said, from lunch, not even from 10 p.m. It was from lunch, and here too. If you go to a fancy restaurant, everybody's having a whiskey or they're chugging down a couple of beers, and it's like, dude, why can't you do that when you get home? And then they go all the way till
Yeah.
6 in the morning when it's the weekend. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy, man.
Yeah,
How they drink.
Somebody told us not to talk much about, well, not to compare alcohol and cannabis that much, like in things. But it's like, I do think that that's going to be a plus in Mexico, that it's not talked that much about, that there's a lot of alcoholism here in Mexico.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that uncle or that person that, they got like stomach problems, or they're an alcoholic, or like, they have cirrhosis,
Yeah.
like when they get older. And it's like, I don't think people realize how much this is going to change that, because I think I've seen it where, it does lower the consumption of alcohol. And that has been shown in Colorado. Like, alcohol sales have been going down ever since cannabis got legalized.
Definitely.
So this is a big plus that I think we should talk a little more about it,
Yeah.
about how he's going to change alcoholism in Mexico. But let's talk about another thing. Have you come out to your, well, yeah, right, your mom knows that you're a consumer, but have you come out to your family? They know that you're a pro cannabis?
They know. I haven't spoke with everybody. Of course, my mom and my father does.
Mhm.
But maybe my uncles and my aunts, I love them. They are like my father and mother also, and they're like maybe one time I have an article in Marie Claire in this magazine.
Yes.
So I was like, yeah, I was in Marie Claire. Wow, look everybody! It's like I send the article to my family, and just like the half of them reply to me. It was
Yeah.
like, okay, so you are not very cool with what I am doing right now, because I also grow. Oh, it's great. It's crazy. I was like the only girl in my family for a lot of years. So there's all of my cousins and everybody were boys.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was like very boyish when I was
Yeah.
little also. I grew up with boys. So there's also a lot of expectations.
That's why you like wearing
Because-
pants.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, I'm not going to be the only one in a skirt in this
course.
house, okay?
Like, that looks comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be like that. Screw it.
So yeah, maybe they see me always like, oh no, the little girl. Yeah, I don't know. It's what I think, because I haven't like spoke with them openly.
Yeah.
But
But your
yeah,
mom and dad, they're
oh, you're super cool. My mom is always in Facebook. Oh, my girl is doing that stuff. And yeah, she's great. It's amazing because she was like this very stigmatized with cannabis, and now she's really open. Sometimes it's like, you don't have to smoke a lot of porros, or do you smoke porros when you are with your son, with Damien? No, mom, just
Don't worry.
don't worry, I'm fine, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still see that some members of my family are like, I don't want
It's
to
normal.
talk
It's
about
normal.
that. And with my husband' permission, also with my mother and father-in-law, they were really close with me and my job. It's like, oh, how was your day? And your work is amazing. And when I quit my normal job,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and start with to work 100% with cannabis, they don't ask me anymore anything. Like,
Yeah.
how are you? Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
It's
she
the-
walks by and they're like, yeah, she smoked.
yeah, it's hard, and I don't blame them. I know that they grew up, and a lot
It's
of people
normal.
grew up with this stigma.
When I started, Sar knows my mom was like,
Do you really have to do this?
and now she started reading and watching and seeing that that everyone that's been on this program is very active and is successful in their own way, and they're involved in a very beautiful community, and you can see it. We don't have to go too far. The States is right around the corner, and you can see how cannabis is benefiting the United States economic wise,
Mhm.
creating jobs,
Yeah,
making stoners very happy. I mean, there's
exactly.
so many good things going on with cannabis. Same thing in Canada, even though they're dealing with it a different way, but still,
Yeah.
there's a freedom. And
Mhm.
I think Mexico and Canada and the US being North America, because that's what
Mhm.
North America is. There is nothing else in North America. It's those three countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If those three countries are together with an amazing cannabis law, like we have a good law, for imports and
Mhm.
exports, and we have a great relationship
Yeah.
with the States and Canada. If we do that with cannabis,
Oof.
wow.
Yeah.
We are very powerful.
I mean, yeah, I don't see any other place in the world being as powerful in the cannabis industry in a positive way, as North America could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
Yeah,
really
agree.
think it has
Yeah.
to happen.
of course. And I think I'm very excited, for example, for me thinking about my son growing up with these changes in drug policies and society changes that are going on right now. It's really exciting because he's going to grow up with a very different thoughts regarding drugs or individuality on how to take his own decisions. Yeah, it's like maybe my father and mother-in-law or my aunts or my uncles, or I don't know, never change their mind, but the new generations will.
Yep,
Yeah. They're
And
gonna be more compassionate because
definitely.
like they're not gonna be like, oh, look at that person in the street. Don't you never want to be like them? Like they're like they don't even know what they are, right? So they're like, oh, look at those drug addicts. But like I think when you start legalizing drugs, you go like, oh, that person is sick.
Mhm.
So you don't make fun of them or you don't talk shit about
Exactly.
them. You go like, oh, he has a mental problem or he has some kind of problem right
Yeah.
now. So I think people, like you say, younger people are gonna be more compassionate about other people, which
I
Yes.
is
agree.
always a good thing. Yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All
Yes,
right.
it is.
Well, I have another question about chicks versus stigma. So you were mentioning something about like how women prefer different things. Like of course it's a whole different genre.
Market.
Yeah, market. Yeah. So what do you see? Like I don't know if it's actually that demarcated or there's a word for it, but it's like I'm thinking of the word in Spanish, demarcación. But it's like do you see like women going more for like porros or like pipes or like vaporizers, or what do you see women more like liking in cannabis, or they don't care, it's just everyone likes everything?
Well,
They want everything but something that's designed for them.
Yeah, but I'm sure
there,
I don't know if there's
yeah,
like
there's
if you
there's
see
like
like
one
a niche somewhere.
bestseller.
You want to get in.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, so we're
Yeah.
editing this part out.
I'm not going to tell you, sir. No, I think that one product that is changing. Wow, all the expectations I have with the products I already sell are CBD loops, CBD lubricants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eh, I think that a lot of people, a lot of girls are living like this uh, sexual liberation. We are like starting to talk about what we like without being pulled out or stigmatized or whatever. And also, I think CBD with sex combines incredible. If you don't know, there's one of each 10 women in Mexico have endometriosis. It's like one health issue you have in your vagina and your reproductive organs that causes you pain. So you will have a lot of pain if you are menstruating or if you have sex or with a lot of activities. So CBD loops are helping a lot of women to understand that you don't have to live with pain. If you have endometriosis, you have vulvodynia, or you have any kind of issue, this will help you. And it's also super fun. It helps you to irrigate more blood, so you are more sensitive. You have like this explosion or
And you brought how many of these for me and my wife?
no, sorry. I didn't brought.
No samples.
Leah,
Yeah.
attack. Attack Leah. Go get her, Leah. Come on,
Yeah,
get her, Leah.
next time I will bring some. Sorry, I forgot. but yeah, it's a product that is changing a lot
That's amazing.
of conversation with cannabis and women.
I have a question. Is
Yeah.
it true CBD or is it THC? Because as far as I know, like CBD is the one that uh, reduces inflammation,
Mhm.
pain, stuff like that. So I don't see how I see it more as THC, the one that is.
You have both.
Yeah,
Well,
okay, yeah.
of course, right now I only sell CBD,
Okay.
but there's also with THC in the market. Foria is one of them. This brand, there's also Canadian brands that use THC with CBD. But yeah, right now here I only have CBD, but it has the results.
Mhm.
I've been speaking with a lot of girls that wanted to share their story with
Mhm.
me, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not. How do you say ginecólogo?
Gynecologist.
Yeah.
Gynecologist, but I hear people and what
Of course.
girls are telling me are amazing. It's great stories.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So hopefully with this regulated market, we can have THC loops and
Definitely.
help much more. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's good to know.
Mhm.
What else do we have?
Where do people find you?
Yeah.
Like on what social media? Do you have a web page?
Yeah, of course. In Instagram, you can find me as Chicks versus Stigma. In the web page is www.chicksversusstigma.com.
Mhm.
And I am working right now with new formats. As I was telling you before in this interview, it's really hard to find spaces in, well, digital spaces or physical spaces. Well, pandemic doesn't help, but we are very censored in social media and a lot of platforms. So right now I'm working on a new format. It's a podcast, something similar that we are what you are doing, to talk about all these women stuff we want to talk, and nobody gives us the space. So I am working with this right now. Hopefully you can see it maybe in the second at maybe half of May. We'll
Okay.
be ready,
Okay.
and we are going to talk about not only cannabis but psychedelics, feminism, I don't know, like a lot of mindfulness stuff. So yeah, it's amazing because a lot of girls are working on with me with this, with Brenda Guerita, her husband Rick Bolt, also Blanca Isabel from Malas Costumbres. She's a girl that always helped me a lot with this. I invited her to the show, but she lives now in Cholula in Puebla, so she cannot be here. But yeah, there's a lot of girls that are helping me with this new project, and I'm very excited to share it with you soon, hopefully in May, if everything goes well. And also uh, one of the main goals I have with Chicks versus Stigma, between education and this product sales and that kind of stuff, is to try to grow other women projects. So, for example, last year before the pandemic came to Mexico, we made this February for Valentine's Day bazaar with a lot of projects from different girls that they came to sell their stuff, creams or pipes or whatever they are doing. And the idea is to make more events. Hopefully, in a couple of months or maybe a year, we will be better to do big events. But yeah, events with girls to empower them, to show them how big they can be. It's part of the plan. So yeah, hopefully soon I will share with you some events. I don't know.
Do you know
Let's
Ellis
see.
Paprika?
Yeah, of course. Now
course.
girls rule. Yeah, now girls rule.
I love
of
you,
course.
Ellis.
Yeah, and it's amazing what she's doing because
She rocks.
she's giving voice to a lot of women
That's right.
in the in the entertainment industry. It's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
She's amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, that's why I thought you would know who.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Because
It's something similar,
Yes.
yeah, but with cannabis, yeah.
it's awesome. Yeah, because she has no. She's just a rock and roll woman. She doesn't. She
but
likes
we
to
can do
drink.
something together. We can
We're gonna definitely
wait,
do
who?
something
mix
together.
everything.
Who?
Elis Paprika.
Oh,
Ellis
Ellis Paprika.
Paprika.
I thought you were talking because you know who also has like a podcast and is talking about sexuality and things like that. It's Pame Vogel.
Pame
Pam
Vogel.
Vogel, yeah, Sexo Sin Freseo. Yeah,
Okay.
I love Pam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you were talking about motorcycles or something? Or
Yeah.
yeah, she also has a motorcycle. Yeah.
yeah, she writes.
Oh yeah.
All
She's
right.
amazing.
She rides a lot
She
of
also
fun.
is in Tiempo de Cannabis.
Oh yeah.
She's
No, she's
amazing.
extremely. We had her on the show. We have to go do a walkthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we got the gimbal, so we're gonna do like a. It look really cool, but yeah,
That will be great.
we had her on the show. She's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
love
everything.
her.
Her whole career is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a power woman. I like
So
her.
just go ahead and plug in one last time the one for Tiempo de Cannabis. Where can they find that?
Oh
Tiempo
yeah,
de-
Tiempo de Cannabis. You
Mhm.
can find it on YouTube in Tiempo de Cannabis channel. No, in
Alcan.
Alcan channel. Sorry, it's ALCANN. And also in tiempodecannabis.com, you can see all the episodes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's awesome, and if you want to see it live, you got to live in Mexico, and you
No,
know.
you don't.
You don't? Where can
don't
you watch
li-
it? There you go. That's
Yeah.
why I said it.
You can enter. I don't remember the page. I will share it to you, but it's ADN 40 channel, and they have like this web with a live session of
Oh,
what's
okay.
happening on TV. Yeah, so you can go ADN 40 in Google and then see like live and then go in.
All right.
That's
Sounds
right.
good.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you can find us in Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're everywhere. You search the Weedkend Show and you will find us. But thanks a lot for coming.
Thank you,
I really
Sam.
like
Thank you, Marvin.
the interview today, and you know, I think I saw you 2 days ago at the expo, so that was awesome. So yeah, everything's growing. Hopefully, we can keep going, and it becomes legal in a few weeks, and we're all
Yeah.
gonna be even happier, you know, and be
Even happier.
growing
Yeah.
more things.
Party.
And we have the mascot, the official
Official.
mascot.
Leah the Beagle.
Leah.
Yes. Every time she wants to be more and more in the show.
Yeah, she wants the fame.
Next, she's going to ask me for royalty. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you so much. It was really fun. Thank you.
I'm Marvin Weisman.
I'm sorry.
This is the Weedkend Show podcast. Leah the Beagle, Brenda from Chicks vs. Stigma. We love you guys. See you next time.
Peace.